Hey, Confirmation Nation, have I got your attention? We're going to go into one of the commandments that's this is the one that might make us blush a little bit. So I'm just warning you in advance. It's a tough one, and it comes right after "Thou shalt not murder." Right? That was the 5th commandment. Now the 6th commandment is that you shall not commit adultery. This is such a huge and important one in our day and age, because I think this is one aspect of our faith that we don't like to talk about. In fact, we often call it the talk. And so we will talk with our parents about the birds and the bees, right? That's what you call it. But adultery, we got to unpack that. Like, what is he talking about? And he's talking about having sex outside of marriage, right? That's really the basic definition. And it's really not only that, but it's a way that we look at other people, right? We got to start at that in the 5th commandment about not murdering, right? Don't kill, don't murder, right? Don't have so much hatred in your heart that you would destroy somebody. Now this is kind of the opposite. Like, don't have so much lust in your heart that you would use someone, right, just for your own pleasure or for whatever you want out of it. But to see people as loved by God, as precious, right? That's behind the 5th and the 6th commandment. So when we see people of the opposite sex, right? So guys, when you see girls, and girls when you see guys, there should be this respect there. And what I want us to do is to see those other people as just like more than just an object, more than just something to look at. I think that's what he's getting at. Luther's explanation of it says that we should fear and love God, that we lead a sexually pure and decent life. So when it comes to that area of our life, we could show, everyone could see like what we think and how we conduct ourselves in public and out there, that it's good and it's according to his will in what we say and we do, and that husbands and wives would love and honor each other. And so it goes back to God's plan. And I think it's so simple, right? In the beginning, you go back to Genesis, he creates Adam and Eve, and the two live in this perfect harmony. Now sin comes in and destroys everything. And that's why we need the cross. That's why we needed Jesus to come in and die for us, because of that mess. And that curse, right? That fall back in Genesis caused just relationships to be messed up. And this is where it kind of finds its expression of that in murdering, right? In the 5th commandment, but also in adultery. Because now we're going to abuse, right now, sometimes what we do is people abuse each other and they take advantage of each other. And God says, no, you're going to live a different way. So when it comes to sex, that's going to be for husbands and wives. Within that beautiful relationship, within that committed relationship, that's where that activity is going to be appropriate. And really anything outside of that activity is going to be destructive and hurtful. And just watch any of the shows that are on, right? The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, and all those kinds of things where it's all about the physical part of things. And who looks a certain way and who looks the best and all of that. God's saying, look deeper, like look at the person. Look at who they are, look at their personality, right? Look at their history, look at who they are, look at where they've come from, what their family's about, and all those things. That's what matters. That's who you're marrying, right? That's the person you'll spend the rest of your life with. And so sex becomes an expression of that forever commitment. It says, look, this is what God has dialed in, this is what he's done. So all those other things that we read about and see online are all they're kind of trying to do it outside of that beautiful relationship, outside of that perfect structure. Because in that structure, it's an expression of that oneness that we have as a husband and a wife, and that unity and that harmony that's there. has a physical expression. And so that's what God is saying. God's saying, hey, that's what I want you to hold dear in your life. That's what I want you to be about. Now again, we're in a world that's kind of going the opposite direction. And really, I think, makes sex and all those other things, they make it really kind of a cheap, temporary kind of thing that's certainly not anywhere near the expression of joy and love and commitment that God wants us to have. And so that's going to dictate what we look at online. Right? And there's going to be certain images, there's going to be certain videos that you're going to see, and not just on those X-rated sites, but on other sites as well. Trying to paint a picture of what it's supposed to look, of what love is supposed to look like. It's almost completely about physical things or leading up to physical things. And God says, no, that there's just something so much better, right? Where we can each and every day, again, not reduce people down to an image or down to something to look at, but that we would lift up who they are as human beings, and the worth that they have in God's eyes, and that we have in God's eyes. What an awesome thing, and something that we can do that's going to be so countercultural in our day and age, and especially if we do that with love and with respect for people who may not agree with us. I think it could be a powerful witness to the world, to what it's about. And so we could say, hey, you know what, I'm going to wait till I'm married, because that's the right thing to do. Listen to this, because I am going to wait, and I want the best. I'm not going to settle for any of that. I want that within the confines and within the safety and the security of a marriage. What an awesome thing that is. And so I think that changes the way we look at dating. I think dating, again, you're going to make up your mind, and parents, I pray you have a really good conversation with your kids about dating. But one of the stories that that's really been helpful to me in looking at with my kids is there's a story about a young man who was going out for a date, right? And his dad asked him for the car keys. I'm taking my girl out for a date, and he said, be home at a certain time, and they set down all the rules. And he asked her, he said, hey, before I give you the keys, are you going to marry this girl? And he said, he's like, I'm young, I'm still in high school, I don't know. And he said, okay, great. So you really, there's no plan to marry her, right? Yeah. And so he said, so as you're out on a date with her, realize that she will probably be someone else's wife. And so realize that right now, there might be someone else who is out with your future wife. How would you want that guy or girl who's out right now with your future husband or wife, how would you want him or her to treat them? What kind of things would you want them to do? And the young man was like, wow, I get it. Because right before that ring, right before that wedding ceremony, you're dating and you're with somebody that's someone else's probably potential wife or husband. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want somebody doing certain things with them that are reserved for me, for her and I. And I think if we look at it that way, we really see how special all of this is, and how important it is to God, and really how important it is to the people around us, so that each and every person, imagine they could all go into that marriage relationship going, you know what? I've only given myself to that person they're marrying. Their heart, their soul, their physical, everything to them. Because God has it all and has given us all of that. So again, be praying about all that. I pray this has some great discussions on this. It's a challenging commandment, but again, a great opportunity for us to witness to Christ and to His way of doing life. See you next time for another Truth Matters video.